guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Hexia, and with the new killer coming out, the Pinhead or Sebenite, I think that's how you say his name, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, I figured I'd show you what a few red rank Sebenite games look like. I played this really late at night because I'm a night owl, so I'm going to go in with my normal build, which is Iron Will, Decisive Strike, Sprint Burst, and Fixated. And I have a few games to show you today of what to do and what not to do when facing the Cenobite, and I do both things quite regularly. I may have a lot of hours in this game, but I still panic when new killers come out because I have no idea how to face them. So let's get into the games and I will show you what to do and what not to do. Let's do it. Alright, we have loaded into the Fractured Cowshed. And I'm about to check in and make sure that my ping is okay because I had a game before where my ping was... Oh my god, it was terrible. So we see him across the way here, and we're just going to use our Fixated to hopefully keep him from seeing us at the very beginning. Because we spotted his box, it's important for us to get that box before the little chains get all the way around our character models, because then we have a bunch of problems that we do not need. It's just a big fat problem. There's chains everywhere and you can barely do anything, so we need to cleanse that with the box and hope that he does not show up. So I just start this gen here and I checked for ruin to make sure I didn't have to run around for ruin. So in case you're wondering why I haven't gotten the box yet, it's because I wait until about 3/4 of the character box to fill up, and then I go get the box. And right here we see that Eugen is going to get the box. And unfortunately when she does the box, he does come. That always gets me. And he does get a free hit off of her. And with that, I know that he's near me. So I get off of the gen as soon as she runs around this corner and try to get out of his line of sight. I don't know if he's seen me here, but it looks like he hasn't. So he walks back to the injured survivor to try and get it down. And I go right back to the gen so it doesn't lose that much progression. And unfortunately though, he does end up coming back right here, and I am not fast enough with my Fixated to get out of his line of sight, and he sees me, so I take off with my Sprint Burst. And this is my first mistake. I do not look behind me with the audio cue. There is an audio cue for his chains, and just a little bit of toxic attitude here because I'm upset at myself. So a little bit of a flashlight click. There's always an audio cue. There's another one here. That audio cue right there, I did not listen for it. And in turn, he got those chains on me, which slows you down. You don't want that. So I'm just running for my life, and I hear his heartbeat here. So I know that he is continuing to chase me, which he is. And I did see that one. I didn't pay attention to the audio, but I did see it. But I wasn't quick enough to dodge it. And I'm just doing a little looping around here in this jungle gym. And I'm not sure why he didn't catch me here. I don't know if it was a slowdown for him for getting the chains on me or what, but I'm able to make this window. He's pretty good with these chains, and I'm pretty good at not dodging them, so this is definitely not what you should be doing. You should be watching for him. I give him a little fake out here. Be watching for him and his audio cues. The audio cues for the chains. If he gets those chains into you, like 2 or 3, you're pretty much done. So with that, he leaves me, and I'm free to go back to the gen. So I'm just doing a little bit of gen progress. And some of my teammates come in to help. An injured Claude and the Eugen. And we get this gen done. Here she comes. And we're about to start healing each other, but I hear his heartbeat, and I'm pretty good with heartbeats. I know how close they are and, you know, when they're gonna come. And so he does try to get me again with his chains, but I'm able to get across the wall in time. And he should have downed me right here and then. But I got body blocked by my teammate. Fun times, love that. It's a common occurrence. So he gets hook out of me here. And I don't know why he goes for this hook over here. There was a hook to his left, but I guess maybe he didn't see it. So that is my first hook. I could have run that better, and there he goes. Somebody is trying to mess with his box, and he's like, hell no, here I come. He gets saved by the person that sandbagged us, so let's go. And she's nice enough to heal us. But back in that jungle gym, I could have run it a lot better. I could have gone back to the window. I could have watched out for him better. Instead, I ran right in his path. So we're just going to get this last little bit of healing in, and then we're going to go run over to the killer shack and hopefully start a gen. Except that doesn't go well for me. Because he's got the new Nemesis perk that makes you incapacitated. You can't do anything when a survivor gets down for, I think, 10 seconds? I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments. And then now he does see me here, and he tries to get me, but he can't curve that quickly, and I am able to move around the corner. And I just stay out of his line of sight, although he already knows where I am. He tries to get this gen, but it's already at 0%. And so I'm just going to rotate around him. It looks like he's not going to pursue me, even though he knows I'm there. And I'm going to get this save on Claude. See, now the box is up, but we don't need to cleanse it just yet. We have quite a bit of time. And so after I'm done healing Claude, I go back to the gen in the killer shack. And I start to hear his heartbeat, so I fixate my way around to try to keep him out of my line of sight, or out of his line of sight rather. And so this is my second encounter with him. And unfortunately I misread him, so even though I have my fixated, he's still faster than me and he sees me. I just use my sprint burst to get a little bit of distance. And right there I watched that he brought out his chain attack and I was able to dodge it. So I listened to the auto cue and to his little hand movement. And here I was just tired, okay? I don't want to talk about why I gave him a free hit there and I didn't just throw the pallet down or get more distance. I don't want to talk about it. So with that, for some reason, he leaves me and I'm free to go back to the gen. So with that, the last gen is done and the exit gates are powered. It's not a good idea for me to open that gate right now. It's better for me to get the save since Feng is running him around the killer shack and he could easily come back to me. And luckily, since I don't have borrowed time, he went for me instead of my teammate for an easy down again to tunnel. And I'm able to get a stun on him, which allows my teammate Feng, who he was running around the killer shack, to open the gate. And I lead him back to the gate because I hear that it's almost open. And was not paying attention to that audio cue. And I'm forced out, unfortunately. I thought the gate was a little bit more done, and I didn't think Feng would get, cut like that. But I'm out, and I look to make sure that my teammates get out, and thankfully they do. It looks like the Claude will get the save here. And the Eugen is at the other gate, messing around with the chains. And they are both out. And like you see here, you can't leave the exit gate until you get rid of the chains, which allows the Cenobite to get a last minute hit and maybe down and get you out of the exit gate. But that was the first game. So there was a lot of things. It was my first Cenobite game of the night, and it was like past midnight, and I was not used to his audio cues, and I'm just used to like running in a straight line, looking behind me every now and again because I know the distance, and it could have been a lot better. So I take that into my next game, and let's get into the next game. So my next game is at Badham Preschool number 1 in Springwood. And since there is a gen right in front of us, we're just going to go ahead and start that. We don't know it now, but there is ruin there, and for some reason I don't cache that, even though I I let go of the gen, and it told me that there was ruin, but you know, tired brain equals half brain for me, so this Cenobite did find his box. And then he solved the puzzle box, and when that happens it gives him a audio notification and a noise notification for all survivors, and it lets him know where all the survivors are. And I'm dodging a little bit of these chains here. I'm doing a little bob and weave, but unfortunately when I'm about to run, because I see him, I do get caught in a chain, so my sprint burst is stifled a little bit. So I'm just doing a little bob and weave, and I know he's getting closer and closer. Luckily I have a pallet here. He could have got me there, but he decided to use his chains to try and slow me down to get an easier hit. And I tried to get him to suck into the vacuum pallet so that he would get a stun, but wasn't able to. And I had a little bit of a server lag issue right here, so I couldn't dodge the chains, and in turn got myself into a little bit of a dead zone with chains attached to me, and he gets a hit there. So I go to the Killer Shack because I know that the Killer Shack gen is done. So if he follows me all the way over here, he's like wasting his time. He does get the basement off of me if he does chase me, but it doesn't look like that. So it looks like for some reason he comes back over here, and I'm not sure why Jane's over here. So I'm just trying to run him around. It looks like he's going to use his chains again, and I do notice that, and I notice that it pops up. So I just do a little, you know, half circle around it. And I think he's going to chase me, but I think he did see Jane, so I'm just going to go back here and unhook my teammate across the map. I see that there is a burning totem here, but I can't get to it because the Cenobite leaves Jane and comes directly back to the hook. I love it when killers do that. I love it so much. We are able to get a little bit of a heal in before he does come around, but you know, since he's got Sloppy Butcher due to his perk, you know, he's just free to tunnel, you know. Love that. So I try to, you know, flash bait him or flashlight him to get his attention, but he's not having it. He wants David for some reason. And there he downs David, and I guess he saw my scratch marks because I was either going to flash or I was going to, you know, drop that pallet. So since he knew I was aware, he gets a free hit. And here I am trying to be a toxic little bitch that I am. And he does follow me, but for some reason he doesn't continue to follow me. I try to go up the stairs because the noise is still loud from his chase music, but all of a sudden it just drops off. And then I noticed that David is back up and healed to injured state, so now I know why he left me. So after that, a little time has passed, the gen's been done, and then I go to get Tap off the hook and maybe heal him, but we both notice that there is Sloppy Butcher on that hook, so he just kind of moves away, and since Jane is down, I'm gonna go get her. So I'm running towards her, and I see that there is a lit totem here, but I can't cleanse it due to one of his perks. So I go back to Jane, but she was already unhooked, so I'm gonna check that other burning totem that I knew was over here that we didn't get a chance to. See Jane on it, and I go, okay. So I'm gonna go to this gen over here with David to try to get it done. He does come back around here and gets David over here. Luckily he doesn't see me. I kind of fixate my way across here even though they're still ruined. So the noise notification should have tipped him off, but it doesn't. So that allows me to get my gen done in just a second while he gets David again. And then I'm going to go get Tap off the hook again. Oh. Looks like he got Jane instead of David. So once I get him off the hook, I see the box, and I'm going to get that box. So once you pick up the box, can't hear the terror notification for him if he gets near you. You're pretty much blinded until that box is done. And luckily he doesn't come for me, even though he had just hooked Jane, so he very well could have. And then he could have downed me, but he didn't, thank God. So once that box is done, my plan is to go get Jane off the hook, but then I realize that there's still a lit totem here. So I'm going to go ahead and start cleansing that totem. I freak out a little bit because he's chasing David over here, but I just figured to commit, we need to get this totem out of play. I'm not sure why Jane is in a locker, which she doesn't have inner strength that I'm aware of, so she's just kind of hiding out there. So I finished up with that totem, and I know that he's running David around, and David is kind of a good runner from what I've seen, but not too good. So I'm waiting here. He could have got it down there, but, you know, poor Cenobite. So I'm just waiting to see if I can get a flashlight save. So luckily David jukes him out a little bit, and I fixate my way around to keep him from seeing me, because that could have been really bad. And I'm just gonna fixate my way around again to save my sprint burst in case I need it, in case he pops up out of nowhere, because you never know, those killers, like, they just pop up and you just never see it coming. So the exit gates are powered. I am looking for Noed over here. And thankfully he doesn't have Noed, because with newer killers they don't have good perks to start out with, so I'm always wary about Noed, so it's just better safe than sorry. So I'm gonna come over here to one of the exit gates, and I hear his heartbeat, and I see that Cap has gone down, so I'm gonna wait just a second, because I don't know how close he's gonna be, because I see there's a hook like right in front of me, so I don't want to do the exit gate. But I grow a little bit of balls, you know. I take my balls out of my purse and I start to open the escape. But I also noticed that the chains that are going around our character models have gone to 100% and nobody has gotten the box. So now I got a bunch of chains to deal with. I'm kind of across the map from it, so I was hoping my teammates would do it. But I don't think the box ever gets done. So I'm just waiting here for my teammates. I decided to open the gate because I see one of my teammates. I believe it was David. And I'm just kind of dodging these chains. Not very well. But I'm doing my best. Because I don't want the Cenobite to come over here, but I also want to be here in case one of my teammates gets down right near the gate and try to get a flashlight save. And I don't see anybody just yet. This little guy, Pinhead, did find his box, which is why I screamed again, so he got a notification, both audio and noise, letting him know where all survivors were. And then David finally does join me here and tries to give me a little heal, but it's not the time for healing. We need to make sure that Jane gets out, and I see that she's injured, so we need to be right here. And thankfully there she is. And we need to get these chains off, which is pretty easy because it's usually just one chain, and we all get out. And that was my second Cenobite game before I completely and utterly passed out. Even though I passed out, I still think I did an okay job for, you know, 2 Cenobite games in, or 2 Pinhead games in, you know. I didn't think I did too bad. There's definitely room for improvement, but I will get there. Alright guys, that was the Pinhead, or Cenobite, or Cenobite? So, it's not Cenobite. Cenobite versus Feng, my Feng. And yes, I am aware, please don't get mad that I did this late at night. I was doing things all day long, and the only time I had to play the game was late at night. With my gameplay that I just showed you, I have 3 tips and tricks for you. So the first one is, if he solves his cube, there is a voice audio cue. This is different from if he was just attacking you with his chains. That's when you know that you're about to let the killer know where you are through voice and a noise notification, and your character is going to scream and then have about 3 links of chains on them that you need to get off by pressing the right mouse button, unless you have it set to another button. In that case, you just press that button. The second thing is the other noise notification for his attacks when he is chasing you. And it lasts for like 2 seconds, and then you have to find out where it is he placed it, and then just dodge to the side, left or right, it doesn't matter, just dodge, do a little half circle, whatever it is you need to do, just, you know, spin that circle, bitch. third thing I can say is just watching him. I mean, obviously you're supposed to be looking behind you when he's chasing you, so you can tell when he's going to do his attack. He lifts his arm up, and then he sends out his little ball chain thing to shoot at you. So not only do you have to be looking out for that little attack that shoots the chain at you, but you also have to be watching his hand movement, because he'll suddenly stop moving and then the chain will fly out. So just watch him. So make the correct adjustments. If you have a jungle gym near you or a wall of any kind, get around it. Hopefully by then he's already sent his chain out, because he can send the chain out kind of like Nurse through walls, but once that chain is out, it's out. So you just need to get around something, and if you can't get around something, just zigzag, do whatever you can. So those are my 3 tips and tricks. If you guys enjoyed the video, I enjoyed making it, even though I was so freaking tired. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.